Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Welcome back, Mataji. Let's make a start. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Hari Bol. Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Sajim Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Eshwari Reshabano Sutadevi Pranvami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhehascha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Te Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Layate Girim, Yat Kirpataham Vandeshi Gurun Din Taranam, Paramananda Madhvam Shitataneshram Hariyam Tassat, Narayana Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jemoduriyat. Nasta Presha Abduresha Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shlake Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have been discussing Kunti Mata's prayers, and we have said that Kunti Mata has been saying in Shloka 18, you are the Supreme Lord existing in and out. This is the Knowing the Lord, title Knowing the Lord. You are the Supreme Lord existing in and out. You are invisible, covered by curtain of Maya, and you are known to Brahmansas, not to women like me. And then she says, I am fortunate. Devaki and Vasudeva are fortunate. I am also fortunate to see your form. I am more fortunate, you say, my sons, not Devaki's sons. and you protected us from various calamities, and let those calamities come repeatedly so that we may see you. And then in 26 she says, Shitva Kinchan Gocharan, not to qualifications to see the Lord, and not to those intoxicated by Janma, Ashwarya, Shruti, and Shri, you are not visible to those people. So that's how far we've got, and we shall share. Stop this, and we will share 27. Okay, so we are now on 27, still on the part of qualifications to see the Lord. So okay, so 27. Namo Kinchana Vitaya Nivrat Gun Vartaye Atmaramaya Shantaya Kavelya Pate Namaha. So Namaha, all obeisances unto you. Akinchan Vitaya, unto the property of the material impoverished. Nivrat, completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes. Guna, material modes. Vrite, affection. Atam Aramaya, one who is self-satisfied. Shantaya, the most gentle. Kevalya Pate, unto the master of the monies. Namaha, bowing down. My obeisances. So Akinchan Vitaya is the people who are property, who are materially impoverished. So we talk about the materially impoverished, and in the last one we were talking about the Kinchan Gocharam, which is one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. So we talk about Kinchan Gocharam kind of people, and then we are talking about the Akinchan Vitaya people onto the property of materially impoverished. So my basis is onto you who are the property of the material impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are most master of the monists. Excuse me. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces as something for gaining something more valuable. So you're not completely renounced. You give up one thing, you become detached from one thing to attach yourself to something else. A student sacrifices childish proclivities to gain better education. A certain gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing, but for something tangible in spiritual value. So it's not possible that we give up everything, we stop thinking at all. These things are not possible. We always have to be doing something. That's the nature of the soul. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Srila Raghunath Goswami, and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunath Goswami was the son of a big Jamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There's a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. Yeah, he had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. It's basically, with the rest of the rubbish. And he therefore asked Nathan for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. So he was like suspicious that can't be the most valuable thing, the touchstone, because is like thrown with the rest of the rubbish. A kinchan means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancements go ill together. So unless one is able to see everything as spirit in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for only because we have no such spiritual vision. So advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancements entangles the living being in the bondage of a material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. So this is why we asked to avoid sense gratification and hankering after material things. It's not it's not like Krishna doesn't like us doing that kind of thing. It's for our own benefit, because we get bondaged to material body to enjoy those things, and we just keep coming back to enjoy, if that's because Krishna fulfills all desires. If that's what you want to do, he will keep giving you a material body to enjoy. Won't necessarily be a human body, could be any body, because even animals and insects can enjoy. So we have to be careful that we're not attached to material life. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. So material life is really, or material hankering is not wanted. It can be used, material things can be used in the service of the Lord, but not for our personal gratification. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one using lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. So that's the biggest necessity, but we're going after the wrong things. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy, because even if the moon is reached, the problem of the life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Well, because they think everything belongs to God, so they don't have any assets of their own. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. So material and spiritual don't mix. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds which are exhibited even in this material world are spiritual and without affection for the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental, and one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of three modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivrat Guna Vritti. The perfect Nivrat Gun Vritti is the Supreme Lord, because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature. Whereas the living beings have such a tendency, some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. So we have a choice. Krishna has given us a choice. He has not made us without choice, without having the desire to choose, although we are his parts and parcels, but he has given us still this freedom to choose. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are property of the Lord, reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is Atmaram, self-satisfied as he is. He is the master of the monists who seek to merge into existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord, called the Brahmajyoti, but the devotees enter into transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. So join the Lord and interact with him. So we talk about Kinchan Vidya. So when we possess Krishna Prem, we possess everything. When we don't possess, then we have nothing. A pure devotee, the only property he has is Krishna. That's his only asset. And that's the only asset he needs. Just like Arjun, he didn't want assets of Narayani Sena. He just wanted Krishna. That's the only asset you need. You cannot have material hankerings and spirituality. Material and spiritual don't mix. It's like making a fire, then throwing water over it. So they're like two opposites. Or also known as Hati Matha. An elephant takes a bath, and then after coming out, it covers itself in mud. So he goes into the water to take off the mud, then he comes back out and then puts the mud back on. And that is our state. We're trying to purify, and then we get impure again with material energy. We hold on to our material interests as a sort of security. Yes, just in case spiritual life doesn't work out. That sounds very, very familiar. Draupadi held on to her sari with one hand, and with the other she cried out Krishna to come and save her. So she's holding up one hand just in case Krishna doesn't respond. Krishna waited until she gave up both hands and totally surrendered onto Krishna. Shri Krishna, I have no other shelter but you. Then Krishna has to come for his devotee. He is Bhaktivedanta. He spends all his time protecting and pleasing his devotees. Yeah, we always have our doubt. It may be sometimes think that I'm not worthy of Krishna's attention, of his mercy, but yeah, we are afraid that Krishna has got better things to do. Then, even as a devotee, you get these feelings that, it's got better things to do than to think about me. But Krishna is thinking about all his unlimited sparks, parts and parcels. That's the amazing thing. Okay, Let's go to 28. So, manyatvam kalam ishanam anadi nidanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yan mitha kalhi. So, we're still talking about the qualifications. Manye, I consider Tvam, your Lordship, Kalam, the eternal time, Ishanam, the Supreme Lord, Anadi, Nidanam, without beginning and end, Vibhum, all pervading, Samam, equally merciful, Charantam, distributing, Sarvatra, everywhere, Bhutanam, of the living being, Yat Mitha, by intercourse, Kalhi, dissension. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In disputing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. So Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the super soul Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kal, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment. But we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore he knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. So the freedom can sometimes become our obstacle. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Otherwise, who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kal. The Kal offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, we may have happiness also without being asked, for they are all predestined by Kal. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the results of his own destiny. So we cannot hold Krishna responsible for when we are suffering, things go wrong. We are suffering the results or enjoying the result of our own destiny. This destiny is made up by the living being in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all-pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, he is known as the eternal time or Kal. So, Srila Prabhupada, see anything you can add? So everything controlled by time. Every aspect of our life is controlled by time. Krishna appears in this world as time. Those who don't surrender to Krishna will be forced to surrender to Krishna in the form of time. So with time, we all have to surrender, is by death or disease, whatever. Every facet of our life is controlled by time. All the goals that we make are controlled by time. Life, enjoyment, suffering is all controlled by time. Our past karmic reactions are delivered by time. Whatever we do at the present time will impact our future time. So time is everything. And time is also a healer. And we grow with time, we learn with time. We have new beginnings. So time has its good points. People want to become free from influence of time. But the only way to become free from the influence of time is to forget time. So people take alcohol or drugs where they forget about everything. So they try to forget about time like that. But when the effects wear off, then once again they are back under the control of time. So we try to get away from life and situations and what time brings by just alcohol, drugs, whatever. And sometimes we might do other things like do some activity, go to cinema for 3 hours or something, just want to just forget everything, like just chill out and forget everything, forget about it. We go on holiday to forget everything, but then we come back again, and life is as it was. You sort of begin with where you left off. So whereas a devotee of the Lord does not exploit the resources of Krishna, he is not interested in gloating over material nature. He understands he does not possess anything in this material world. Everything belongs to Krishna and should be used in the service of Krishna. It is simple as that. Now, because he cultivates the attitude and that consciousness, the influence of time on him is totally different. For him, time helps him to cultivate and deepen that relationship with Krishna. So he's looking at the positives instead of the negatives. He is praying to Krishna. When that time comes, he would like to be completely surrendered, completely in love with him. So we're using our time to grow spiritually, and we're waiting for the time when we can meet Krishna. And even in our daily life, time chanting is a wonderful process, because whenever you are waiting in somewhere, you have an appointment, you're waiting, you can just take your chanting bag out and just start chanting, and you think, oh, please, I hope I can just finish one more round. So you're never bored of waiting for things, waiting for people, waiting. Not recommended, but waiting in traffic. Sometimes if you're stuck in a big jam, and you're not moving, you're not driving, you're just going to start chanting. You get a few rounds in, sometimes there's some accident or something, and then you're stuck in traffic. You just start getting frustrated that how long will I be sitting here? Just chant and you get some extra rounds in. Wonderful. And so, right, 29. Naveda kaschid bhagamascha krishitam taveha manasya nirnavidam vanam nayasya kaschid yatosti krahischid taveshyascha yasmin vishma matir nirnam. So does not weigh no kaschit anyone, Bhagwan or Lord, Chikrishitam, pastimes of you, Ihamanasya, like the worldly man, Nirnam of the people in general, Vidam Banam, misleading, na never, yasya his kaschit anyone, Dayitaha, object of specific favor, Asti there is, Krahichit anyway, Devashya, object of enemy, Cha and Yasmin, unto him, Vishma, partiality, Matahi, conception, Nirnam of the people. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of enemy. People only imagine that you are partial. So she knows everything about the Lord. The Lord's mercy upon the fallen souls is equally distributed. He has no one as the specific object of hostility. The very conception of the person of Godhead as a human being is misleading. His pastimes appear to be exactly like human beings, but actually they are transcendental and without any tinge of material contamination. He is undoubtedly known as partial to his pure devotees, but in fact he is never partial, as much as the sun is never partial to anyone. By utilizing the sun rays, sometimes even the stones become valuable, whereas a blind man cannot see the sun. This is the problem. The sun is equal to everyone, but it depends on the receiver. Although there are enough sun rays before him, darkness and light are two opposite conceptions, but this does not mean that the sun is partial in distributing its rays. So this is a good example that the sun is distributing rays equally, how much you take depends on you. The sun rays are open to everyone, but the capacities of the receptacles differ. Foolish people think that devotional service is flattering the Lord to get special mercy. Actually, the pure devotees who are engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord are not a mercantile community. So you're not doing a business transaction with the Lord as a devotee. A mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values. The pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for such exchange, and therefore the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. So that's a lesson for us, that we should not be transactional with the Lord. Should be just one way, just to please him. Actually, the pure devotees who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are not a mercantile community. A mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values. The pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for such exchange. Therefore, the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. Suffering men, needy men, inquisitive persons, or philosophers make temporary connection with the Lord to serve a particular purpose. So 4 kinds of pious people who approach Krishna, but then when their needs are fulfilled, they may leave. Somebody comes, with a lot of problems, suffering, tears, to say the temple, and then you don't see them. When you see them, they seem quite happy now because the problem has been solved, and so they don't need Krishna anymore. They got what they wanted. So like that, that can happen as well. So they really came for their material needs, and when those material needs are fulfilled, they think that the Krishna has really there's no need for Krishna's services. They just came to get services which they got, so it's no longer required till next time. And that seems to be quite trend as well. People go to temple or approach God when they need help, and then they forget about him once they've got it. So when the purpose is served, there is no more relation with the Lord. A suffering man, if he is pious at all, prays the Lord for his recovery, but as soon as the recovery is over, in most cases, the suffering man no longer cares to keep any connection with the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is open for him, but he is reluctant to receive it. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a mixed devotee. Those who are completely against the service of the Lord are considered to be in abject darkness. Those who ask for the Lord's favor only at the time of necessity are partial recipients of the mercy of the Lord, and those who are 100% engaged in the service of the Lord are full recipients of the mercy of the Lord. So it's all up to us. Ye yatha. Such partiality in receiving the Lord's mercy is relative to the recipient. It is not due to partiality of the all-merciful Lord. So it's very good purport by Srila Prabhupada to remind us that don't blame God for our problems. They are self-created. We create our own destiny. We have freedom to do that, and then we have to enjoy or suffer. And how much mercy you're getting is really depends on how much you are surrendered. When the Lord descends to this material world by his all-merciful energy, he plays like a human being, and therefore it appears that the Lord is partial to his devotees only, but that is not a fact. Despite such apparent manifestation of partiality, his mercy is equally distributed. But can we take advantage of mercy? In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all persons who died in the fight before the presence of the Lord got salvation without the necessary qualifications, because death before the presence of the Lord purifies the passing soul from the effects of all sins. This is one to remember. The reason they get salvation is because the presence of the Lord purifies the soul from the effects of all sins. And therefore the dying man gets a place somewhere in the transcendental abode. This is very, very good. And yeah, so all the sins are nullified because they have paid the price with the life, and because they will get a place in the transcendental abode, that they have to be basically purified. So Krishna gives them the purification, and then they can go to the transcendental abode. So that is the I would not call it a prize, but that is the resultant when if the Lord has to kill you in this case, then there's still a prize for that, and the prize is going back to the transcendental abode, somewhere in the transcendental abode, and for that he purifies you by his mercy, and you can go back. Somehow or others, if someone puts himself open in the sun rays, he's sure to get the requisite benefit both by heat and by the ultraviolet rays. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Lord is never partial. It is wrong for the people in general to think of him as partial. So, the problem is on our side. God is always same. So Lord is never partial. Hard for people to accept that Krishna went to. Yeah, we'll just read this. Whether one is fallen or one is a devotee, Lord's mercy is equally distributed according to your expectation. Krishna gives maximum mercy to those who don't want anything in return, even purification, going back to Godhead. You just want to make him happy. That's all. Full mercy of the Lord is open to everyone. Others will get no mercy or partial mercy according to their capacity to receive it. How much mercy you get is in your own hands. Do you want the service, and why you want the service? I want more mercy to serve Krishna. Increase the service and the quality of your service. So if you want more service, you surrender more, you get more mercy. And we don't make any exchanges or transactions with the Lord. We just want love and mercy, nothing material for a start. We don't want nothing material, just mercy to serve him more. If we do like the gopis, they just want to serve Krishna. That they don't want anything for themselves. If they want anything, it's just so that they can improve their service and love for him. Now look at 30. Janma karma cha vishvatmam ajasya kratur atmana triyan rishishu yadhashu tad atyanta vidavanam. So janam, birth, karam, activity, cha, and vishvataman, O soul of the universe, ajasya of the unborn, akrathu of the inactive, atmana of the vital energy, triyak animal, na human being, rishishu in the sages, yadhashu in the water, or yadashu in the water, that atyanta, veritable vidavanam, bewildering. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that your work, though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn, you yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Srila Prabhupada explains that the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are not only bewildering, but also apparently contradictory. In other words, they are inconceivable to the limited thinking power of the human being. The Lord is the all-prevailing supersoul of all existence, and yet he appears in the form of a boar amongst the animals, in the form of a human being as Ram, Krishna, etc., in the form of Rishi like Narayan, and in the form of an aquatic like a fish. Yet it is said that he is unborn, and he has nothing to do. And yet he takes so many incarnations, and he does so much. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that the Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. No one is equal to or greater than him. He has manifold energies, and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength, and activity. All these statements prove without any question that the Lord's activities, forms, and deeds are all inconceivable to our limited thinking power. Because he is inconceivably powerful, everything is possible in him. Therefore, no one can calculate him exactly. Every action of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. He cannot be understood by the Vedic knowledge, but he can be easily understood by the pure devotees because they are intimately related with him. The devotees therefore know that although he appears amongst the animals, he is not an animal, nor a man, nor a rishi, nor a fish. He is eternally the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. So one thing, Krishna is not that is predictable. Some of us, we tend to be predictable, but Krishna is very unpredictable. You just don't know what he's doing and why he's doing. Not 100%. We have confidence in many things. We have confidence in him that whatever he's doing is for our own benefit. But how, when, how, and what, we we can never guess. He has his way of doing things. And you like to say in Christianity, God works in mysterious ways. So it's always a mystery how he's going to solve problems. So when we say we don't know why Krishna is doing this, that's because his response is inconceivable. We can never understand God. We simply have to be grateful. He is conceivably powerful, so everything is possible for him. And also we should try and understand what lesson Krishna wants to teach you from this incident. So that's all we can do. We can just try and learn something from the incidents, not try to work out how, like I said, how, why, what, he did this. That's Krishna. He does races is his own way. Because like even in his pastimes, by Jiva Goswami explains, how can God descend as a hog? What are they? Or as a fish, Matsya? How can, when you start questioning these things, I think, why would God become a hog or a fish? And then how can the Lord come as Ramchandra, the king, Prince Ram, King Ram, and be banished to the forest? How can he do that to himself? Why does the Lord punish himself? How can he, who is unborn, take birth within a prison cell as Krishna? How can the Pandavas, Krishna's dear devotees, friend, go under continuous tribulation? If you have a very, it's about who you know, and the Pandavas knew the best person that you can know, and yet they suffered so much, And how can God steal butter and feed it to the monkeys? And when we act, our motivation is desire, but Krishna lacks nothing. Not sure what that means. When we act, our motivation. Okay. When we act, our motivation is desire, but Krishna lacks nothing. He possesses supreme self-satisfaction. Why does he act? He is not impelled by anything external, as nothing external to him exists. Why does he even descend to the world? So, like so many questions that we can ask. I'll stop here, and So if you start thinking about these things, you just get bewildered, and I guess we just waste our time thinking. Krishna does what he does, and like we all know that he's doing the best for us, and just have faith in him, and we cannot try and work out his ways. So we discussed about, Kunti Mother says, I am fortunate, and there's like 5 verses explaining that. Then she says, qualifications to see the Lord, And there's 3 verses to that, and then the Lord's nature is inconceivable. That in the last 2 verses we've discussed, 20 and 30, the Lord's nature is inconceivable and bewildering. And there's one more, 31, which we can discuss on Friday. So, yeah, amazing prayers, and packed with so much wisdom and knowledge that the Kunti Mata is explaining. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, and like to hear your side of things. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Again, where to begin and where to end, where to start. Clearly, as individuals, we live in a material world, whether we like it or not. It is going to impact on our senses daily and on our cognition continually. There are those who are materially impoverished and have so many desires for those material opulences others have. There are those who are materially exhausted and endowed with so much opulence. But Krishna gives us that freedom to understand that you have to put a ceiling on those desires. We need those things which are basic for our needs, our survival, and for the protection and propagation of our family needs. So yes, some things are necessary, but whatever those material things are, if they're all used in the service of the divine, yes, even looking after your family, looking after your wealth, looking after the community, looking after others, with Krishna at the center of it, that's fine. That's fine as long as you have a full understanding of how you are using your material wealth, devices, etc. And this ultimately, he says, there is the supreme asset, which we have to remember, because all these things that are given to us is done by the divine. These are the things and toys and paraphernalia he's given us to continue in this world. But over time, because time is God, that things will come and things will go. And so over attachment to the material realm has its difficulties. The touchstone is an example that having that touchstone, which will give you that wealth that this person was looking for, was put into a pile of rubbish and garbage. And that is a symptomatic that all Lamborghinis and all palaces are just simply an accumulation of tinsel and trash. Because the ultimate wealth is the Mahamantra, and that thing will take you across to have the pastimes with the Lord. Not to merge with the Lord, but to have the pastimes with the Lord. That's the difference between the Vaishnavas and the Mayavads. spiritual realization is the greatest of all. Yes, the material world exists, but water and oil don't mix. Water and blood don't mix. And therefore, he has given us so much freedom, so much choice to make the distinction. What do you want? I was listening to some YouTube about some other faiths, and they have said, we've got the most civilized philosophy in the world. This civilized philosophy gives you the opportunity to live in the world but not to be of it. This civilized philosophy doesn't have to be a jihadist philosophy where all you want to do is impart your anger and your hostility so you can go and live in a world with the God, with all the 14 virgins or whatever. A bizarre philosophy. But hey, this is what it is. Learn to accept not the material body, but the soul. The Supreme has the greatest influence in our lives, and we must remember that what he has given us in this 70 and 10 is time limited, and hence we have to count the sands of time which are taken away. We can be liberated or we can be bound. We have a choice, but we have to have that responsibility that will determine our destiny. He has given us clearly choices. He's equal to everyone, but he's more equal to his devotees because he knows that his devotees care for him. He has a special place for his devotees, but he will be as equally compassionate to the Brahmin, to the dog eater, and to any other individual or flora or fauna. Must not see this as a transactional arrangement. It's not a business. He's the greatest businessman of all because he can give you the greatest footsie hit and take it away the next day. And so, all these things are impermanent. They're all temporary. But what is eternal is the prospect of eternality and to be engaged in the pastime of the Lord. Engage in 100% devotion. And then there is no room for ambiguities, no room for deviations. This is an absolutely 100% foolproof philosophy, theory, practice. Take it or leave it. But this is the greatest philosophy that will give you the greatest results. Your intentions and your desires, your efforts, your energy are being noted. And efforts and intentions are absolutely necessary to realize that nothing is achieved without these elements. Everything.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, we need to constantly remind ourselves of these these facts, and because Maya is so strong, tend to be sitting on the fence all the time. One margin energies, like when we're discussing it all seems very clear, and then later on we're back to our usual self. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, pranams to all of you. Yes, wonderful, wonderful points as always, and how Krishna is reminding us, nudging us, poking us at times through our own desires. That okay, you want these desires, but this is the way you achieve these desires, and this is the result and the consequence you'll have to deal with as well. And we see around us, we understand everything, and we understand everything because our souls have traveled on the same path over and over in different bodies, in different circumstances, situations. So everything is quite familiar to our souls. But the modes, they override us and make us helpless, and actually we let them. That's why they ride on us. Krishna is Atmaram. Krishna has everything. So that's why he comes as a, those appears in avatars among those species which human beings not really like or prefer to live among or talk about them. Or so he's actually showing that I am the creator of everything. So nothing is good or bad. I'm above the dualities which is the hallmark of the material life. So nothing is difficult for him, nothing is hard for him. He will appear in the prison when he comes as Krishna. He appears in prison. He shows that people can shackle others, like his parents were shackled, but he appeared as a full-fledged God in front of his parents. So that he can be the Anu, the smallest of the small. He can be Vibhu, the biggest of the biggest, as he appeared as Virat Roop. And it's so amazing, and we'll read more about Virat Roop in Canto 2, when we'll read that how he comes at three different Virat Purushas. As a Mayavadi's understanding, as a devotee's understanding, and as somebody who's on the borderline. So nothing is impossible for Krishna, and humans have got the four bad qualities because they, the envy, the jealousy, and greed. We have these because we are not Atmarams. We are not self-satisfied. We have to look outside us to fulfill our desires. So that's why humans are envious of Lord, and they compete with him, like we see as his associates when they come as Ravan, as Jai Vijay, and Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. So if we can remember just this point, I think our life will be successful. We won't waste our time. If we remember that Lord is Atmaram, we are not Atmarams. We are dependent on Lord, on everything. Even the air, he has provided all the material things around us. Even the simple thing is air. If Lord doesn't allow us to breathe, we can eat the food. We can't even eat the food if we haven't got the strength. And we are speaking because there's a fire in our body. And the fire is there, that's why we are able to digest the food. And that fire is also God. So how much dependence we have on Lord for each and everything. No matter you are the most richest person of this world, but still you are dependent on Lord. And Lord has made, they make their empires, they make their, stand in the life. But that is also at the back of others. They have got their employees, they have got their confidants, they have got their advisors. So God has made sure that nobody is independent in this world apart from Him. He is the only Atmaram. So yeah. So our prayers to Krishna that Krishna, please give us buddhi to understand what you are telling us through the Shastras and through the people around us, because everybody is a Shiksha Guru around us, every circumstance, every situation, every person. So let's take the positive from everyone around us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu, and we'll catch up on Friday and discuss more of Kunti Mata's prayers, the amazing prayers, and we want to meditate on them as much as possible. Thank you so much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki
Ki
jai.
jai, Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Gaura
Premanande,
Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.